Thousands of New Jersey homeowners repaint and renovate their homes every year. Now perhaps you're considering such a project. Whether you're a novice or seasoned do-it-yourselfer, there's something new on the paint can. A government warning. It reads, "Warning, if you scrape, sand, or remove old paint, you may release lead dust. Lead is toxic. Exposure to lead dust can cause serious illness such as brain damage, especially in children. Pregnant women should also avoid exposure." Federal law mandated in 1978 that lead be banned from all paint used in housing. Unfortunately, that means that any home built before then is likely to contain some lead-based paint. Lead-based paint becomes dangerous when it begins to deteriorate or is disturbed by renovation. As it peels and cracks or is sanded and scraped, paint chips and dust are produced. Inhaling the dust or ingesting the dust or the chips results in lead poisoning. Childhood lead poisoning is one of the greatest environmental health threats facing American families today. Approximately 1 of every 30 children in a New Jersey first grade classroom will have been lead poisoned before their 7th birthday. The health effects of lead exposure vary. Childhood lead poisoning causes brain damage, organ damage, learning difficulties, and behavioral problems. Damage caused by lead is often permanent, and many of its effects cannot be reversed. Children can easily get the lead dust on their hands. The most common way lead gets into children's bodies is when they put their hands into their mouths. Unfortunately, most parents aren't aware of this danger until it's too late. In 1996, Leanne Howe and her husband were looking forward to the birth of their first child and eager to prepare their newly purchased 200-year-old farmhouse for their growing family. Renovations were in full gear by the time their son Julian was born.
Julian was poisoned. We found out he was severely lead poisoned at the age of 10 months. He had lead level 44 micrograms per deciliter, which was 1 point away from IV treatment. We knew nothing about lead poisoning. Ironically, when we were doing the renovations with the hot air gun and sander, we had people that worked in real estate, people in different industries, people that lived in older towns, older cities that were there, and not one of them ever spoke up and said, "Hey, by the way, while you're doing that, do you know anything about lead paint?" There was, out of all the people that we had talked with that were in our circle at that point working with us, no one was aware of it. We had no plastic containment. We had no way to track the invisible dust that was following us. We didn't know when we were vacuuming it up it was going back into the air to be breathed back in. We had compounded the problem so many times from the first time we started scraping the paint and had no idea because we couldn't see it, we couldn't taste it, we couldn't smell it.
Lead-based paint can be hazardous even if it's in good condition. Friction and impact surfaces present a danger. Friction surfaces are ones that have painted surfaces that rub together, such as opening and closing a window. Impact surfaces are ones that bump against painted surfaces, such as a door banging against a wall or molding. These actions disturb the paint and create lead dust. Keep children away from these surfaces.
It would just take one simple mistake to actually start introducing lead into the environment. We had done it on every single area, even down to, we didn't have a HEPA at first, so we used a regular shop vac. The lead dust was flying back out of the vacuum cleaner, back into the air and floating around, where it was easy to inhale again. I was 30 years old. I didn't know. There was no reason at that point in my life, at any point in my life, that I would have really known about lead unless I was working in public health, until it actually happened. And that's the problem, is if you're doing the renovations yourself, you don't have the clearance testing, you're using your child as a canary to see what your lead levels are. Unfortunately, once the process started with us, we became a reactionary situation because we had to react to everything that happened with the lead with my son. We could not be proactive at any point after that, other than, trying to look at the long term, get out of the house, get him away from the lead. Once the lead starts, you have to you're on a lead timeline, and it takes phenomenally long.
There are things you can do to prevent lead exposure and protect your health and the health of any children living in your home.
My advice to anybody that has a house that they're thinking about renovating, Whether you're going to take the windows out of the bathroom, if you're going to scrape the front porch, whatever it is, check on it first and see if you can get an inspection done on it to find out if you're dealing with a toxic paint. Lead is a neurotoxin.
The New Jersey Department of Health and Senior Services can provide information to you on how to get your home inspected and when your children should be screened for lead in their blood. If you plan to remodel or renovate, or you suspect that lead-based paint has been used in your home, get your home tested. Testing should be performed by a lead evaluation firm licensed by the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs. These lead evaluation firms have the professional training, equipment, and expertise to identify where lead hazards are located in your home. And depending on the scope of the project, making your home lead safe may be difficult and expensive to do yourself, and hazardous to your family. Remember, anytime lead paint is disturbed, dust is created. If your home improvement project involves removing or refurbishing surfaces that contain lead paint, consider having it done by a licensed and certified lead abatement contractor. Certification is given by the New Jersey Department of Community Affairs. The department is responsible for regulating and enforcing housing codes and standards in New Jersey. Abatement means permanent, 20 years or more, control of a lead hazard limiting the harmful levels of lead. After the work is completed, the abatement contractor uses specialized cleaning practices and then is required to have an independent certified inspector conduct tests to ensure no dust is left behind. All lead evaluation firms and lead abatement companies must be certified. If you decide not to use a lead abatement firm, consider using a contractor that has taken the Lead Safe Work Practices course developed by HUD and the EPA. Though this course is not as extensive as certification training, the course creates a strong awareness of the danger of employing improper methods and teaches basic proper procedures. Now, if you are a do-it-yourselfer and there is lead paint in your home, there are some important questions you should ask yourself. Do you have the expertise to handle this job in a safe manner? Don't get in over your head. You may be good at fixing things around the house, but if there are children in your home, you want to be certain there's no lead dust contamination. Do you have the time? Dealing with a lead hazard may take more time than you realize. Can you devote the time needed to get the job done? Do you have all the equipment you'll need? Removing a lead paint hazard requires specific safety gear. Will you purchase or rent this equipment? This is not a project to cut corners on expenses. And finally, how committed to safety are you? Will you take the time to learn lead-safe work practices? You don't need to go to college, but consider attending the one-day lead-safe work practices course developed by HUD and the EPA. In the lead-safe work practices course, you'll learn that you should never try to remove lead paint by dry sanding, dry scraping, or with a heat gun. These methods will create lead dust or toxic fumes that can cause lead poisoning. You'll also learn about 3 common methods for making your home lead safe: enclosure and encapsulation, replacement, and removal. The encapsulation method bonds material to the existing paint surfaces, which prevents access to underlying coats or layers of lead-based paint. This method is not appropriate for friction or impact surfaces. The replacement method is just what it says. You replace things like windows and doors that have lead-painted surfaces that are not intact. It's often easier and safer to replace windows or doors that contain lead-based paint than to try to remove the paint from these surfaces. This method provides a permanent, relatively safe solution. Some chips and dust can be created when removing these items. It may also make your home more energy efficient and improve its value. The third method is removal. Lead-based paint is removed from the surfaces in your home, and then a new layer of lead-free paint is applied. This can be a difficult, time-consuming procedure. To do it safely, you must follow some very specific guidelines and procedures you will learn in the Lead Safe Work Practices course. Other lead-safe work practices include sealing the work area off from the rest of the home, restricting entry to the work area, removing belongings from the work area, misting painted surfaces disturbed during the work, and performing a thorough cleanup at the end of the job. After taking the Lead Safe Practices course, you may come to the conclusion that it's safer and wiser to hire a lead abatement contractor and avoid all the health risks and work involved in making your home lead safe.
There's just too much that's inherently bad that can happen in any house. But if you know where to go, who to ask, and what to look for, you can make it a lot easier. And if you have an older house that has lead paint in it, just do the contractor, because it's going to save you so much hassle, so much time, medical bills. There's no price tag on what's happened to us for 8 years.
The New Jersey Department of Health and Senior Services is dedicated to educating and informing New Jersey's residents about the dangers of lead poisoning. You and your family's health and safety are our main priority. Remember, lead poisoning can be prevented.